And we're live. We are live.
Hello.
See, this is really cool. I've been threatening to do this for a long time. And a lot of people have told me that I should do it. So I listened. I am going to have my own webcast now, for better or worse. So if you encouraged me to do this, then I'm glad that we're finally doing it. And I hope you're going to tune in and even participate. I'm going to have drop-ins and call people live and all this fun stuff. If you don't care for my views, well, I don't use the...
Bye, hater. I'm kidding.
I didn't say that. That's not what I meant. I almost said happy Christmas. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. But Merry Christmas. It is... what's today? Today is Saturday, right? No, it's not Saturday. We're going to be editing. This is going to be airing on Saturday night, but it's not Saturday. It is December the 20th. It is Wednesday night, December the 20th. We're in the middle of holiday season, in the peak of Christmas week.
Yay!
And I'm joined by my beautiful daughter, my youngest, Victoria, who made it home for Christmas.
I did.
From...
Florida.
What part?
Central Florida.
From Lake Wales. That's
yes,
right.
Lake
That's
Wales.
right.
No one's going to know what that is.
I did good. I feel like I did really good. I'll be home for Christmas as you walked in through the door.
It was.
Did you notice that?
It was so cute.
Was it really?
It was.
It didn't go wasted on me?
No, it didn't. I definitely did notice. It was like a magical moment, you know?
Listen, like it laid on too thick here. No, it really is good to have you.
Aww.
I'm so glad that you made it.
I'm happy to be here.
And you brought with you?
My boyfriend, Joab.
Joab.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Joab.
Good guy. Love him. He's awesome.
So sweet.
And you brought?
My dog.
Maggie.
Maggie.
You guys have seen Maggie before. You've seen her on my pictures and stuff. Yes. She's an
old girl now.
Yeah, she is.
She won't walk up the stairs, so I had to pick her up and carry her. And it's been that way since we got here.
And why is that a thing? Why is picking her up and carrying her a thing?
Because she's fat. But honestly, I don't think it's just because she's fat. I think she's starting to have like a little bit of arthritis. Like
she's for sure having old arthritis.
I can't think about it too much. It'll make me cry.
It's kind of sad. Like she was whimpering a little bit when she was walking the other night. But she's been a really sweet dog, and we love her, and she's like a little part of the family. And we know those days are probably coming. Well, we're not gonna think about that because it's Christmas time.
I'm like, oh my god.
We're starting on a happy note here.
Yeah, right? Welcome to the podcast.
You're welcome to the
Victoria's
podcast.
Dog is dying.
No, I didn't say that. She's not dying. She's not dying yet. But she is old. And how old did we figure out that she was the other day? We thought about this because we did the math.
Yeah.
Because your last pet died around...
The Ice Bucket Challenge.
Ice Bucket Challenge.
Which was like in 2014. And then I got her right around that time.
And she was already...
She's already 4 years old.
Was that old, really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So...
Who gave her to Betsy? Betsy gave her to her friend Betsy from church gave her to
Shout out to Betsy.
And Betsy told us when we got Maggie, she said, Maggie has two jobs in life. And what are they?
To be loved and to give love.
And she has proven to be every bit of that. So...
Her mission statement.
Yes, that was her mission statement. So... Yeah, so this is fun. We have some exciting things tonight if they go well, if they go as planned. And the reason why I say that is because as I scratch my ear on so I work on a couple of other podcasts, other webcasts, and shout out to Doug Van Dorn and the Giant Steps podcast. But we're going to a new platform. We use Restream on that, and we're on Riverside FM. And so Riverside is a very, very cool software for this kind of thing. But it's not buggy. I'm the buggy one. I haven't figured out quite how to use all the bells and whistles yet. So, do you hear that? I kind of went into drunk mode for a second. All the bells and whistles. Yeah. So. As long as everything cooperates, we have some kind of fun stuff tonight. I'm going to be joined in a little bit by a really dear friend of mine, whose work you have more than likely heard before. Her name is KIRSTI MANNA, and just a dear friend that I've known for gosh, going on 30 years probably by now. So yeah, that'll be really cool. But we've got some cool stuff. Like I said, in future episodes, I will be prearranging phone calls and calling people and catching up. We're going to talk about several things. And the first thing that I want to do, since I've dragged my daughter onto the screen here with me, is I want her to tell you a little bit about herself. You are?
Oh, wow.
You didn't know that?
I didn't.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. You are in school. Let's start with that.
Yes.
You're not in college, not in high school. She made sure that I...
Yes.
And why did you make sure that I...
Because I'm 4'10", don't get me wrong. No, but yeah, so I am in a discipleship school. I'm in my last year, so I'm a senior. It's almost over. So I'm going into my second semester.
Your second semester?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
My second semester of my last year.
Of your last year, okay, yeah. Okay.
So I just finished the first semester.
I was gonna say you're wrong, sister. You're a freshman.
What?
If it was your second semester.
No.
Never mind. Go ahead. I interrupted you. Go ahead. Never mind.
No. But anyway, I'm a couple points away from being the valedictorian, so y'all pray for me.
I'm very proud of you. Just like I was in high school.
Totally.
As lightning strikes me right now. I was not remotely poor. Mary Veers, if you're watching this, you know that I was not the valedictorian because you were the valedictorian. So shout out to Mary Veers. Anyway, go ahead.
The legend lives on. But I'm 22. My theme song this year is 22 by Taylor Swift. Or for copyright reasons, it's not. I don't know.
You don't have to worry about that. It's just like, just don't sing it, you know? If you start singing
I really would.
then we'll get flagged.
What else? I don't know. Ask me questions.
You know,
about
let's talk about this the valedictorian thing for a second. I got a funny story to tell you about that.
Okay.
So this gal that I mentioned, Mary Veers, she was our class valedictorian, and you know, we had a really big school, really big school, and all these like urban legends would develop, you know, that would get passed around the seniors and all this stuff, you know. Well, there was this one urban legend that that Mary Veers had a 5.0 grade point average, which probably was true because anybody who knows her knows that Mary was a smart cookie, hard worker, and she had an amazing GPA. She was, you know, for our class, legendary. But this was the legend. And so when we were in high school, the it car was the Mustang 5.0, right? So word started getting around that Mary's parents were getting her a Mustang 5.0 for her 5.0 grade point average.
Mary, what? Okay.
However, 27 years later, Mary and I caught up in, you know, online on the Facebook, you know, and I was like, you know, we were just kind of catching up, and we're talking about, you know, her accomplishments and all this stuff, and I said, so was it true? Did you get the 5.0? And she's like, what? And I said, didn't your parents give you a Mustang 5.0 for your graduation present? She's like, no, they didn't. I wish they had.
What world do you live in?
So anyway, anybody else who heard that urban legend, it wasn't true. I don't know what Mary got. You know, she probably got something even better, but it wasn't a Mustang 5.0. Just in case anybody's wondering. So anyway, I'm sorry. As you were.
That's quite the story.
Yeah, no, I thought it was.
Are you gonna get me a Mustang 5.0?
No habla.
Oh.
What's your grade point average right now?
Am I supposed to know that?
Well, yeah, but don't worry. Let's just say you're about to be the valedictorian.
Let's say it's good.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Okay.
I don't know. Honestly, I'm a couple points away.
You know, this year at your school has been quite the year. You guys were caught right smack in the middle of Hurricane Ian, and it leveled.
It was rough. It was rough. Yes, it was quite the adventure. Our school was. So we actually stayed with the director of our school during the hurricane, but our dorm was like pretty much in shambles after. So like on one side of the building in our common space, the roof completely flew off and all the water came in and flooded everything. And then praise the Lord, on our side of the dorm, the roof lifted off and came back down. So it was completely unattached, but it like came back. So none of our stuff got touched. All my stuff was okay. It was so good, so good. But unfortunately, we didn't have a kitchen for a little while. We had lost all of our furniture. The entire building flooded on that side.
Well, it's funny. It's not funny at all. I mean, you know, a good part of the people that are going to watch this are probably Hurricane Andrew survivors, like myself. You've heard us talk all your life about the famous Hurricane Andrew.
Yeah.
But you know, the whole time that the hurricane was heading in your direction, I'm freaking out. I'm checking. I'm like, you know, is it going to get near you? Is it going to get near you? And of course, you've got the whole, what's it called, the cone of uncertainty, you know, where you don't know where it's going to go. And I followed the storm, and I followed it. I'm going to try to edit this in to show where your school was and where the eye of the hurricane hit, and it literally
was like
right over you.
Yeah.
Literally right over you. So
yeah.
it was kind of nerve-wracking, but so what?
Honestly, I slept through the whole thing, so I can honestly say that.
But wait a minute, but you weren't at the place. You were.
No, I wasn't. Well, I mean, I was in a different house.
But it was still storming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I was sleeping.
Yeah. Well.
Snacking.
I've heard people say. I mean, two of my sisters actually kind of slept through Hurricane Andrew, you know. But as a dad, it was still, you know, really freaky, and then I didn't hear from you for several hours because the connection went out and all that.
Oh yeah,
but
we completely lost all service. We lost electricity, but not very long. Our dorm lost electricity for a while, but we were staying. Like I said, we were staying with our director. So.
And what would you say? Because so many people that are going to be watching this can tell you theirs. What were the things that you learned the most from going through a natural disaster of that magnitude?
Stock up on things beforehand. And people are crazy. You like fighting over toilet paper. I don't know what happens. Like when a hurricane comes, I don't know why people are like, we have to get the toilet paper.
Well, it's just kind of like the other thing, the
like the nervous,
the C-19 thing.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like why?
Yeah. Well, but what about on the back end of it, like on the recovery process of it? What would you say was the biggest lesson learned for you?
Well, for me, it was a lot of patience.
Everybody says that.
No, honestly, it's so true though. Like there was a lot of times, it's just when there's a lot of like construction going on around you and remodeling, and you know how companies are, we're gonna come out this week, and then they like never show up for like 5 weeks later, and
exactly,
it's all the things. So it was just a lot of patience, and you know there was a lot of times where I was like, I can't do this, but it's over with, and we did it, and we made it through, which is so good. So I'm so happy.
And now you see, that's a life experience no one can take away from you. You know.
Exactly.
Not everybody can say that. You know.
Yeah.
So this year, obviously, a lot of ups, downs, and trials and stuff. Now, for us as a family, we're going into a second year of an event that wasn't, you know, too happy. It's our second year without my dad, without Bobby.
Yeah. And
that's still kind of fresh in our minds a little bit, and we miss him, and I know my mom misses him over the holidays and stuff. But more relevant to the here and the now, this has definitely been a year where it kind of has felt, especially in my world and in broadcasting, and specifically in my field, and in my circle, I should say, it has kind of felt like a little bit of the changing of the guard. You know what I mean? Where the older folks are passing, and so there's a couple of specific friends that I have in mind. My friend Joe Horn is a very, very dear friend of mine. His dad, Tom Horn, who was legendary in his field, in his area of expertise, just absolutely legendary, author of many, many books and countless documentaries and films and programs. And I got to work with him in literally the last project that he worked on was with my film, and I got to know him really well before he passed. And so I know that for them, for their family, it's very very tough this season, and so just our hearts go out to them and to anybody else who's hurting, and also to closer to home here in Charlotte, to Warren Marcus's family that passed away. And and to his family and the people at the Sid Roth organization and whatnot. A lot. He was also another guy who was legendary, especially when, back in the early '80s. I mean, everybody just looked up. He was a pioneer of especially religious broadcasting. So so anyway, just a big thought and a big shout out to shout out. Is that still a thing? Shout outs? Is that still a thing?
Here and there.
And I don't know if that's still a thing, but anyway, yeah. So, but yeah, for anybody who's lost a loved one and having to go through the holidays, don't spend it alone. Find some love, find some warmth around you, and don't be a lone ranger during this time of year. It's just not good, and it's bittersweet. I mean, I've lost. Not necessarily even in death, just being separated from people you love. I'm totally in that boat. When friends come and go, very, very dear friends. That come and go, and it's not the same without them. Yeah. So, but yeah, it kind of feels like this year we kind of took a little bit of a curve. I think we said that how are we going to refer to the C-19 thing? The whole because if I say
the shutdown,
the lockdowns, there we go. Yeah, they're good. Okay. Since the lockdowns, since that event of 2020, I think it seems like the world changed a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you? How back are we? What do you think?
Honestly, I don't know. I think Walmart. It's still not open 24 hours.
Is that your litmus?
It's so sad.
That's your litmus? Is Walmart?
Yeah, I know. Walmart was my special place. In the middle of the night, you need a snack. You're going to Walmart because it's open 24 hours.
I don't think I've ever heard somebody say Walmart was my special place.
I'm so serious too.
Walmart, in my opinion, is proof that the Catholics may be right and that there is a purgatory. Not quite hell.
Listen,
but
your Walmart experience is different than my Walmart experience.
Apparently.
Here, I'm not even gonna lie, Walmart is not it. It's not the best Walmart. The Walmart in my area where I go to school is.
Oh,
it is a good Walmart.
So you left and got all bougie?
The employees are good. They're there for you. One time I was walking through Walmart crying. And the only reason I was crying is because I was looking at the Christmas decorations and they were really cute and they're making me emotional, And I'm just kind of walking through, crying a little bit, looking at the decorations. And then all of a sudden this employee's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, it's just the decorations, they're getting my emotions, And Walmart.
Vicky, I gotta tell you, I too have walked through Walmart crying. But it's because I'm at Walmart. Because I ran out of something and I had to go to Walmart,
Well,
so
not all of us can have a happy life.
No, apparently. Well, apparently you went down there and you got all stuck up about your Walmart, their employees.
I love Walmart.
Yeah.
I'm going to create a petition for 24-hour Walmart again.
Okay. Well, okay, you do that. You run with that. Let me know how it goes. Okay, listen, we're going to bring in my dear friend Kirsty, who has just checked in with me and told me that she is ready and standing by. And so there she is.
Hello.
I am.
Kirsty.
Is this your daughter?
This is my daughter.
Hello.
No.
Had you not?
As my niece says, instead of saying no, she goes Noah.
Noah.
Like Noah's Ark.
Noah. Yes. Yes. She. How are you, my friend?
Victoria, I haven't seen Victoria, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I haven't seen you since you were a little baby.
Oh. That's it.
I'm becoming emotional.
Well, we were just talking about how Walmart makes me emotional, so.
Walmart makes her emotional. So.
You look so pretty.
Oh, thank you. So do you.
So let's tell our viewers. I've already kind of teased our guests that are coming in, and I told you this when I invited you to come on. We're going to do an entire episode on just you, your work, everything that you're doing. But we're going to dive into a little bit of that tonight. And so I want to talk a little bit about you. Now, I'm gonna start with the big thing first, and we're gonna work backwards. All right. But because
go downhill.
This is really cool. We're going to talk about a lot of things, Kirsty. But I'm going to start with the big thing, and we're going to work a little bit backwards. So, and because it's a really cool story. So, Blake Shelton.
About the car I sold it. If this is Tuesday night, I'm bowling. If you got something to sell, you're wasting your time. I'm not buying.
To a certain degree, I can say that his fame, you played a major part in him being the star that he is, because you wrote his first #1 hit.
Songwriter's dream.
I did. I co-wrote it with David Kent. Yes.
And this song is Austin by Blake Shelton. And I'm going to drop a little bit as we're talking here, a little bit of the song for those who may not remember it. But Kirsty, this was a songwriter's dream, because this was not only your first cut, but it went #1.
Yeah.
In the country charts.
It's so true. The thing about that song is that it started out in a really funny way. I'm sure your daughters remember people having answering machines, or maybe some other people listening to this broadcast. But a friend left that message, "If this is Austin, I still love you," on his answering machine, and I was going to write with him, and I said, "Oh my gosh, we got to write this idea." He goes, No, I'm not going to write any more about my jilted love affairs. I said, "Get out of here." I said, "No." I said, "Can I have the idea?" He goes, "Yeah." So I went to David Kent. David Kent said, "He doesn't want to write that idea." I said, "No." So we wrote the song. And then fast forward,
Did he call you back and say, "Hey, I want back in"?
Well, when the song went #1, he was like, "Why was I so stupid?" I mean, this happens to all of us. It's like, for all of the times that I've written with different people and they had a song that went #1, it's like people say to me, "Why weren't you in the room that day?" That kind of thing. But that's
exactly.
That's the way it's supposed to be. But the song went on hold with another major artist, and then they dropped it. And the A&R person that was at Giant Records, which is where Blake was originally signed, she really loved the song. Here comes Bill Warner, ladies and gentlemen, coming into the room. Coming in.
My man. My brother, how are you, man?
Well,
gosh, it's good to see you guys.
I look like the two-headed songwriter now. But anyway, so anyway, we had the song on hold with this other major artist. They dropped it. Debbie Zavitson, who I'm so beholden to for having the foresight to pitch that to Blake.
In the shot when you
I don't know what to do.
the face.
Here, there you go.
I think you'll be okay. I think the default is going to be 16:9, so you're okay. You don't have to sit right on the edge.
There you go. So anyway,
I feel 16:9.
So anyway,
just play safe, right?
She pitched it to Blake, and then the rest is history. And then Blake got Giant Records closed. There were so many things that happened. Giant Records closed. They weren't sure if Austin was going to be the single. The song was originally called "If This Is Austin, I Still Love You," which is a really long title. And Bobby Braddock said, who produced him at the time, said, "I want to shorten it to Austin. I could see that going up the charts." He literally said that. And I thought, well, this guy knows a thing or two about songs going up the charts because he's had so many hits. So and then it was just magic. Total magic what happened with that record. And
I mean, and it just climbed. It just and at this point nobody knew who in the world Blake Shelton was.
And that was the other thing I was going to say, is that when the song had the 20th anniversary, Blake said, now I can do interviews about it, and I'll have TV, interviews and stuff about it. Back then, nobody knew who I was. So the song didn't get any nominations for any kind of awards or anything like that, because Blake was so new. He was only on the label at that point when the song went #1. I think he was only on the label for like 5 months or something. Like, it was crazy how fast.
Not even.
Yeah, not even.
Interject.
But you would think, I mean, But you would think that with it going number one, were there any nominations like Song of the Year or something like that
No.
at the
No,
end
it
of the
all
year? Or?
No.
May I interject
No.
something?
Go ahead, Bill. Have
Unbelievable.
your say.
Okay, so it was not even supposed to happen. It was kind of a last minute thing that Jim Ed Norman from Warner Brothers picked it up because there was a lot of interest on the radio end where people were asking, now is Austin the girl or the city? And from that they gleaned that, hey, this has some legs that people care enough to even ask about it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's how Blake got
Yeah.
signed. There were only, I think, out of the roster on Giant Records, there was only one or two acts that Blake was one
Yeah.
that got picked up by Warner Brothers, and it was based on the
That's
interest
amazing.
that the song was generating at radio.
It was destiny.
Yeah.
It was destiny.
And
It's
what,
totally
and you
destiny.
know, and I was David and I and the other publisher, Janet Talbot Music is the other half of the publishing. I'm one half and she's the other. And we were also fortunate because, you know, a lot of times you get a single with somebody and they're in the Where Are They Now file. And with Blake,
Right,
you
exactly.
know, he went on to have this
He's had
amazing
longevity.
career. He kept having hits, and then he got on The Voice, where
Then it became a household
he
name.
really could show his personality because he really
Yeah.
is like that. You know, he's really
Yeah.
funny and quippy
Yeah.
and all that stuff. Real jokester.
Wait, he's married. Who's he married to?
Gwen
He's
Stefani, an Italian girl,
that's right. That's
a
right.
nice
Oh,
Italian.
I don't know how you know that.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. It just hit me. Well, and I feel like I need to say two things. So Bill, also, since I know you're kind of removed from us a little bit, but
I'm just
I
the
want
body
people
for
to know
Kirsty.
Bill is
I have this floating
Bill
head.
is a seasoned Bill is a seasoned veteran recording engineer in Nashville, and I have to say this, Bill, and I don't know if you even know this or even remember this, but the first recording session I ever did in Nashville was for you. You had me sing a jingle for Harley Davidson motorcycles. You remember that? You can't
Honestly,
possibly
I
remember
don't
that.
remember
but
that,
I
but I
remember
used to do more jingles. But I thought of you. I'm going to name drop here. I was working at Blackbird for the last week for 4 days, and I asked.
Come a little bit closer, Bill. I'm having a really hard time hearing
I
you.
hear you.
Okay. I said I was working at Blackbird Studios, which is pretty much the top studio in Nashville, and it's a world-class place. So I asked my assistant, Austin Brown, that I worked with before, I said, so who else has been working here? And he said, well, you know, Joey Moir, who does all the big loud stuff like Morgan Wallen and so forth. And he said, Dan Huff. And of course, immediately, whenever I think of Dan Huff, I think of you because you were the biggest fanboy of Dan Huff.
It wasn't fandom. It was idolatry, right?
Call it what you want, but it was serious.
That's amazing. Well, I've got
Studio D at
to say this. So
Studio D at Blackbird is where Dan Huff cuts a lot of his stuff.
And Bill,
that's amazing.
you know, and Bill moved way beyond being an engineer. I mean, he's a producer engineer, but he's had so many releases. And now Bill and I run an indie label called Lucky Sky Music. I'm VP and creative director. Bill's president and produces all the music. And so we've been doing that. I mean, you know, I'm a real plate spinner, and so I still write quite a bit and get a lot of indie cuts and I do consulting, I do mentoring, I'm a cat tender. What else you want to know? You know, I
That's right, exactly. A cat enthusiast,
I am
Italian food
definitely that.
enthusiast, and exactly. So I've got to say this because you know, I want people to know just in what manner how I fit into all of this amazing stuff that you've done. In no way, you know, but other than being a friend. But I have to say this. So I seriously owe my career, everything, to you guys letting me house sit for you. Do you remember this?
Well, of course we
Okay,
remember.
so I've got to go back here. So you guys were literally two of the first 4 people I met in Nashville. with David Colon, who at the time was David Andrews.
Yeah.
And we all got together. I met you guys. Actually met you guys 6 months before I moved to Nashville when I went to visit. But then once I did, you guys went out of town, and you guys said, "Hey, you got any plans? You want to come feed our cats?" And I said, "No, I don't have plans, and I'd love to come feed your cats." So I went. Exactly. You would, So I went, and I got sick. I got sick at their house, and I had vertigo and all this stuff, and so I'm on their couch, and the phone rings, and I remember thinking, I'm just gonna let the answering machine get it, right? Yeah. So I get up and I answer it, and it was a guy by the name of David Shelton, who you've met, and Dave Shelton says, "You're their friend, right?" I say, "Yeah." He goes, "Do you need work? I know you're new in town." And I said, "Doing what?" He goes, "Pulling cable for a camera." And I said, "How much does it pay?" He goes, $75. I said, "Done deal. I'm there." So that was the start of my TV career, by being sick at their couch and answering their phone.
And you remember our cat Eber sat with you.
I remember
Eber was always
That's
a
right.
great buddy. Our cat Eber, Victoria. He was named after a biblical person, but anyway, but really he was named after Bill's janitor.
After my elementary school janitor, who was famous for having the cedar wood chips when somebody would throw up because they were sick at their desk, he would come along and throw the chips on the floor and try to make the best.
And his name was Eber Martin, so that's where we got Eber.
Yes.
But that's an Old Testament name.
And you know how Maggie's really fat?
Yeah.
Yeah, Eber was really
Eber
fat too.
was a chubala.
And
he would lay with your
Yeah, and
cat
so-
when he was sick. He was his comfort.
Well,
Bill had a friend. Bill had a friend who was British, and he would refer to him as Fatty.
Yeah.
We don't want to fat shame Eber.
You remember that?
Yeah, I heard you.
But he was mostly fur.
He was a lot of fur. He was very.
He would.
Oh.
Yeah.
But
no,
your
was
dad, when your dad came to stay with us, your grandma, the wonderful and beautiful Mrs. Landa, she called. She was worried about Rudy. And she says, "Is Rudy okay?" I said, "He's fine. Mrs. Landa, we're going to make sure that he gets breakfast and goes to church." She goes, "Hallelujah, praise the Lord." I love it.
Sickness, you are
Really
the
said
bride of
this.
Christ. There we go. Keep on going.
But
said
she
it.
said, say it again. How did she say it?
Hallelujah, praise the Lord.
Hallelujah, praise the
praise
Lord.
the Lord.
Hallelujah,
So
praise
my
the
So
Lord.
mom.
accurate.
She
That's
was,
right.
She's so
ever since then,
and she,
Kirsty adopted her and turned her into a character named Mrs. Landa.
Mrs. Landa, I
And
love
gave
her.
her the.
He's larger than
And
life.
she looks like my Aunt Minnie, your mom.
Oh.
Your grandma too.
I,
Yeah. So
I always remember your impression of your aunt, that you'd say, if you don't stop.
my
if you don't stop
grandmother,
acting up,
yeah.
we're gonna go home.
Yeah.
And sleep.
Grandma, if
How-
you don't
so
stop
was it again?
crying, I'm gonna go home. Okay. She immediately would stop crying. I never said he stopped crying so fast in my life.
Witnessed that.
The tears dried from like crazy.
Impressionist.
So tell me about your
Absolutely.
show. This is your first show, and you've invited us to be on it. That's really
This is
an
our
honor.
this is our launch. So I'm a very I have been in the past a very opinionated person with a lot to say online.
Yeah.
I know that's hard to imagine,
No.
Kirsty, but there's been a lot of people that have told me, "Hey, you should do it." So I've threatened to, and I'm trying it now.
Good.
And so we'll see how it goes.
Well, what do you want to talk about?
I
have a lot of
pulled my
opinions,
daughter
too.
in, and we've shared a lot of those opinions
yeah.
through the years
Yeah.
over.
In and out of Facebook jail.
Yeah, no, we would have ours the old school way, over Italian food or coffee.
Yes.
That's fair.
In her epic kitchen. So but listen, I want to interview the both of you guys for an extended interview, if you will come back.
We
and
would
if you will
love
do that.
to.
And I am going to close out the show today by playing back to back 3 of your Christmas songs, Christmas offerings, and real quick, if you don't mind, tell me a little bit about what big things are happening right now. What are you in the middle of right now, both of you guys? What do you guys got your hands full with?
Well, we're going into Christmas, so we just Tori Martin, the artist on our. She's not related to Eber Martin, by the way. Tori Martin is put out a new Christmas song called Santa's Karaoke, which was an homage to a very funny venue here in Nashville called Santa's Pub, where they have karaoke every day, and it's decorated as Christmas every single day, 365, and they only serve beer. So you'll have to read that song description.
Yeah. So we had a label party there last Christmas, and that was the impetus.
Yeah.
That's what got us
everybody
inspired.
Started on writing a Christmas song about
Yeah.
Santa's Pub. So yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm proud of it. It's
Very,
real
very cool.
fun.
So I have a couple of
That's
songs
awesome.
coming out, a couple singles coming out in Australia. A lot of Australians come here to Nashville to write. You know, they're really closing in on the country market here.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I have
Do
a
tell.
lot of singles over there and a couple of number ones in Australia, which is cool. And
Yeah.
you know, always doing the writing thing. And I've been working on a new speaker talk called Create the Hits. So I'm about to launch that, and Bill and I are actually going to be performing on a Holland America cruise in Hawaii.
Oh, that's awesome. No kidding.
As a featured artist,
Very
doing my
cool.
Carole King show. So that's coming up at the top of the year too. So we got a lot
Oh, yeah,
of
we're
cool
going to have to
stuff.
definitely talk about that.
What'd you say?
That was some really, really cool stuff. No, we'll definitely have to talk about
Yeah.
that when we have you on the Carole King stuff. That's a whole other side of you to, you know. Give us a quick teaser on what we're talking about here. You do a Carole King show.
Well, I do. It's the American Songbook basically. So it's a lot of Carole King's biggest hits, and some of the songs that she wrote, of course, and never really performed. They were just recorded, and then I do several of my originals in that show too. And so the show's called Songwriter Girl, because I'm a songwriter girl. She's a songwriter girl, and so
Yeah.
I really feel connected to her because of her great writing, and I was always inspired by her music, and also because we both play piano. And that was something when I was growing up that I was always gravitating to artists who were piano players, Elton John, Billy
Absolutely.
Joel, Carole King, anybody that played piano, I really connected with them. So, and I really love performing her music. It's really cool.
Well, we're gonna when we have you on, we're gonna try to get samples of pretty much everything to show your new hits and everything.
Oh,
And
thanks.
man, I love you guys. You guys are so special to me. You guys are such a part of my history. And I know 23 years ago I moved away from Nashville, but it's always home when I go
Wow.
back. In spite of all the traffic and all the new buildings, you know.
I can't believe
Um,
it's been that
but
long, but Victoria, I said I haven't seen her since she was a little baby. So yeah, it's been that long, I guess. And please give your family our love and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. You're such a great family, and we love you dearly, Rudy. You're one of our favorite people, and we think of you all the time. And we always say, geez, I
Love
wonder
you
what
guys.
Rudy's doing right now. We should call him. Oh, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. We better not. Okay.
Well, I love you guys. And are you guys staying home for the holidays? Or you're going to Ohio?
Yep, we're staying here. We're staying here in Nashville this year. Yep.
Very cool. Well, you guys enjoy your time. Be safe, be healthy, and all that. And I'm gonna have you guys both. I'm gonna hold you to coming back on the program in the not too distant future.
We'll do it. We look
right.
forward to it.
Merry Christmas.
Love you
Merry
guys.
Christmas to everybody listening. Merry
Merry
Christmas
Christmas.
to all of you. Love you guys. Bye, Victoria.
Love you.
Love y'all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Rejoice, 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 rejoice. Emmanuel shall come to Jerusalem. Oh, come the King
Gabriel Bello, my man, thank you so much for joining us. Like I said, it's been a little buggy tonight just because I'm using this new service, and I was gonna say it's a little buggy, but I'm the one who's buggy because I'm the one who's rusty at this. So, but we're gonna iron out the kinks. Look, man, it's a Christmas episode, and I've got my baby girl, my daughter, with me. And have you guys haven't actually met before, right? I don't think.
We have not met.
So this is my baby, my youngest one, and Gabriel is a musical genius, and the resident musical genius in my life, one of many, but an original.
We just changed the background so it's more Christmassy.
Is it snowing? It looks like it's snowing on you.
It should be. It has been like 30 degrees up here in Mount Pleasant.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
yeah. It's been super cool, man. Thank you for popping in. This is kind of, groundbreaking for me because I've been, I do the Doug Van Dorn podcast, and I'm working on a couple other things, but I've had several of my friends, say you should start one, and so I've threatened to, and so finally now I'm getting around to doing it. So I figured Christmas is a good time to do it because Christmas everybody's kind of in a chill mood. I was supposed to have eggnog down here, and I blew it. I messed up, but we'll have some afterwards. Gabriel Bello, a good dear friend of mine here in Charlotte, and Gabriel is well, he's a musician to the fullest extent of the word. He's an instrumentalist. So you're a amazing piano player, an amazing keyboard player, and in general a ridiculously talented saxophone player. But you're a composer,
That's
you're an
just amazing,
arranger, you're all of these things, and on top of being an artist with your own material and whatnot, you can also make it snow on command. But in addition to all of these things, you're also you front two amazing tribute bands or tribute acts. You do a Stevie Wonder tribute, and you do a Toto tribute. And man, when you are doing the Stevie Wonder thing, you transform into Stevie. It's impressive.
Yeah, I used to do the. Oh, hold up! I've got a fancy mic where I can just hit a switch and it gives me reverb. Yeah, I used to get in a wig and throw on glasses and do the whole thing, and then people started getting offended at every stinking thing. I mean, you just
really?
You think and they're offended. Oh yeah.
Oh well, I hate to hear that. It was done tastefully. It was a tribute, and it's not like you didn't do him justice. Yeah, exactly.
Oh no, people
absolutely.
thought when I was doing the whole shebang, I mean, people were like, "I've seen Stevie, and that's every bit as good." And I'm like, "Well,
yeah,
some nights,
yeah, no, it
I'd
was.
say,
It really,
I mean, I have some
wasn't.
live recording."
That's not an easy thing to just emulate and not get right. You have
No,
to kind of
I don't pick. I don't pick
right.
easy tribute bands.
And then of course Toto. And I think that's what you may be talking about, because I actually
Yes,
what I'm talking I
about.
set out to be the guitar. I set out to be Steve Lukather in your Toto tribute band, and then I got derailed by that massive documentary.
That's what it was.
Yeah, exactly.
So I didn't meet him, but I am.
That's right. That's right. So.
Did you come to the
speaking
house
of my
for the
documentary?
rehearsal?
No, I don't think so. I don't think she was there. No.
I might have been.
At the rehearsal? No, I know Ethan went with me, but you may have gone. It's possible. It's possible.
Might have.
Yeah,
You
it's
came to
do
the
that.
house, I think,
It's
two or
been a few
three
years.
times.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
It has been a
So,
minute. You would have been a kid.
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's funny with the whole lockdown and all that. It's like everybody's lost like 2 years, you know. Excuse me. So, yeah. So speaking of that film, of that documentary, you were the guy who did the composer for the original music in that film, and you were the general music supervisor for it. So that's the most recent thing we've done. That's the gig that we've done together.
The stories of the origins of mankind, as well as our earliest days as inhabitants of the planet, are as varied as the cultures that once left their individual and magnificent records of how they knew their world to have started. The oldest of civilizations immortalize their accounts from generation to generation through the details of oral accounts and traditions, but also as stories etched into rock walls, written on scrolls, in some places on elaborate temples and buildings, now hidden under the scorching sands of deserts. In places like Luxor, Egypt. Deep inside this cave in the Valley of the Kings, where protected from thousands of years of brutal assault from the sands of time, stories remain intact and in vibrant color. An account corroborating the biblical story of the fall of mankind, the start of a war that would set the forces of evil against the forces of the divine, a war whose battles would be fought by beings of flesh and blood, but also by powers and principalities of an unseen spiritual realm across time and across dimensions.
Yeah, yeah. I'm pulling up the session right now. So if you want to see, because I don't think I've ever even shown you. I mean, you got the stems, but you never got to see like behind the curtain as to what
you were working
everything
to?
that I did.
Well, let me bring
Yeah.
people up to speed on this. So basically, I did a film a couple of years ago, a massive undertaking for our organization at the time, and we did have access to canned music and stock library and all that stuff. But it was such a big undertaking that I felt that it would be kind of selling it a little bit short going down that route, and so I was able to procure you. Is that right? Procure, right? Yeah. To and invited you.
I volunteered as tribute because when you told me you were doing it, I was like, dude, whatever you need, I volunteer because
and which was a gigantic blessing. Yeah. And
Well,
so
I
you
love
did
the
the
subject
original
matter.
you did the original score for it for the film, and in general just did music supervision all the way across all 4 hours, all 4 episodes, because it was a docu-series is what it was. So that was really, really cool, and we got to indulge ourselves in the creative process on this. I felt, you were telling me about this Mongolian chant. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, so it's going through and finding, and ever since I got into using virtual instruments, because unless you live in Hollywood, New York, and you're around people that play all these instruments from all these disciplines, and honestly, unless you grow up in that environment, you don't even know how many different kinds of instruments there are. So
Right.
one of the first libraries that I got near 20 years ago now. Yeah, it was almost 20 years ago, was East West RA, and it's basically all these world instruments. So I start off with a duck, Duke. I don't know how they pronounce it. It's an Arabic wind instrument, like a recorder. So that's
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
put a. So that's how the film starts with that,
Yep.
and
That literally is the opening
that
sequence
and the pad.
of the film right there.
Yep. So, and then I tease this, and this I've never used, and it's funny. I was looking for sounds, and it takes hours trying to find sounds, and I happened upon, and let's throw the video player back up, so those of you that have seen the film, you can see, and this is mostly this is pretty close to the final version. So I found this thing, or I saw this. I have to give my brother, my older brother, credit here. My older brother Ralph hit me. He listened to all this stuff, and as brothers do, they share music and they pass down knowledge and beatings. Not too many beatings. When he was learning bass, of course, he discovered Victor Wooten, which led him to Bella Fleck and the Flecktones. This guy that they sampled, I can't remember his name, Bella Fleck put this guy on the map because he heard of this overtone singing that the Mongolians do, and they call it Tuvan throat singing. And they're able to produce multiple pitches through the overtones with the human voice. It's polyphonic singing, and
I think one of the singers from Snarky Puppy, I think does that.
So that's Donny Hathaway's daughter, Layla Hathaway, does polyphonic singing.
Okay.
In a different form, but she can sing 2-3 notes at the same time using resonance and overtones. It's incredible. So I kind of teased that here in the beginning of the film, right here at the beginning of the intro. So he's sustaining a bottom pitch, and you hear it 2 octaves above.
That's crazy.
All right, so
dude, you know how many times I heard that on the recording? You know how many times I heard it on the film, and I wanted to ask you so bad, what the heck is that? And of course, with the other gazillion things that you have to deal with before releasing the film or whatever, and tweaks and this and that, it always kept slipping my mind. But it's I've always heard of them. I'm like, what in the world was that?
It's probably always at 4:30 in the morning. So it's like, Gabe, I just finished texting Gabe half hour ago, so he probably finally went to bed.
Okay, we need to talk about that. So Gabe is the only person who's psychotic enough to work the hours that I work. And
I don't know how y'all do it.
And I'm not talking about 1 or 2 days or something like that. We're talking about months. We're like literally 2 and 3 a.m. We're like 2 and 3 p.m. And I'd be working, and I would have a question. And I was like, he's got to be up, and I'd text him, and sure enough, he'd right back.
My brain stops functioning past like 12, so
you shut down.
It's done.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly.
My brain just it starts. It's funny. My wife and I, we have this joke. Like at 10 o'clock is when I start having. I want to talk about deep conversations. How we're getting the family out of debt.
And she's like, go to bed.
Theology. Yes, she's powering down. I'm powering up. Yeah.
Well, and I used to tell people that all the time because at work, especially when we got onto this big project, my days weren't starting till about noon, and the thing is, at first everybody was kind of walking on eggshells about it because a lot of the other employees are like, well, what does he get to come in at noon, And rightfully so. I mean, those weren't the rules. What they didn't know is that I wasn't leaving till 6 a.m. the next morning a lot of times, So, but it wasn't, but here's the thing, there was no victimhood to it whatsoever. Yeah. I welcomed it because it allowed me to immerse myself in the creative process. At 5 p.m., people are packing it up, ready to go. Man, you remember that scene in Titanic where they show the engines and they're like, that was me at 5 p.m. You're not stopping that at 5 p.m.
I'm gearing up. I'm gearing up. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's,
so
well, what I love about working at that late hour is everybody is asleep. My phone is not going to ring. My phone is not going to text. Nobody's going to bother me. The dogs are sleeping. I have at about 5 to 6 hours.
You hear her? She said, except for Rudy.
No one's gonna bother you except for him.
But that's welcome. See, so there's two maybe 3 people that might ping me at that time. It's you and Phil Hall. And every once in a while, I'll get an oddball person asking me, like an emergency or something.
2 guitar
But
players.
It's you and Phil Hall. Dude, all my friends are guitar players. I have like 4 horn player friends, and everybody else is guitar players. It's insane.
That's so funny.
It's absolutely insane.
Exactly. But they're all calling you and asking you to throw random piano and organ parts on their music, like I did this week.
I mean, it's like, hey, man, listen to this.
Say that again.
And some indigenous throat singing here and there.
Yes, her.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
I'm actually getting to the point where I'm starting to develop, working with my vocal coach and getting some of those. I mean, not anywhere close to that, but I'm starting to hear some of the overtones in some of my exercises.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, this makes sense. It's a cool thing. But dude, that was the funny thing about this was I can't remember. I think I added the throat singing last. No, maybe second to last, because I was going through and I thought it was done. And I was like, man, it's missing something. And I found this, I can't remember if it was an update or if it was a library that I hadn't used called Voices of the Empire. And this is mostly like Asian, Chinese, operatic, China. Gotta have China in there. Gotta have China. And that to me was like
Gleaming.
that was like the powdered sugar. That was the sprinkles on it. It was right here in the. I mean, that's
amazing.
I was like, when I added that, I said, now we're cooking. Like that was the last thing that I added were those 2 elements. So, and it's funny because they start, they hand off, and then she comes in.
That's amazing, man.
And the funny thing, it's so ancient sounding. You don't know if that's Native American. You don't know if that's Aboriginal.
No.
You don't know if it's
dude,
Middle
and
Eastern.
it went so well with the visuals because it was ancient. That was the big emphasis wasn't necessarily on Peru, which I think, or Egypt, where we used it, as much as it was just the fact that it was ancient. Yeah, there's Peru.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
no, it was.
So
that's
where it came
I
in.
imagine Machu Picchu.
It came in right there. So
right on Machu Picchu.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know why it's not playing the video. I think I moved to where the video file was, but that's
I'll try to
where-
find it.
so
I'll try to
does a
find it
hand
on the master and add it. But that's amazing, Gabriel. You did such a bang up job on that, man. Yeah.
But to me,
Well, you
like,
did
the
a
ending
fantastic
of it
job
was-
on that, man, and it was a very highball.
I'm watching.
Oh yeah, dude, that part, the seed of the serpent. So the way I wrote this, and the way that you guys actually catalog it in the film, it's Angels and Giants theme, but it's the seed of man, the seed of the serpent, and the seed of the woman are the three pieces that it's actually copywritten as. And the seed of the serpent movement is one of my favorites. I actually want to dive in and like fully develop that as its own piece of music.
Oh, absolutely, man. I can totally see that happening. Well, man, I'll tell you, it was definitely a very, very cool season of the last couple of years. And it was really cool to have you on. It was a real blessing, and one that I know we'll remember forever. So, but listen, I wanted to ask you a couple of things related to the season. How is your family? Tell me a little bit about your family and what's going on this holiday season for you.
Well, family's pretty good. My wife is about to have a shoulder surgery, second one for the year. But other than that, praise the Lord. We're blessed. So I've got my wife and our daughter, our miracle baby, and And the reason she's a miracle baby is being a cancer survivor. The Lord healed me of cancer 23 years ago. I was told I'd never have kids. So now I've got a 10-year-old. So take that, devil. To you, devil. And so she's doing great. She's got lots of presents. She's homeschooled. We're in doing that. Yeah.
So
trying to get this
in that
studio
light of
get our phone going.
in that light, it makes the holidays totally a totally special thing. Every holiday is a gift, you know. I would think.
Big time.
So, and what's 2024 looking like for you, Gabriel? Like what's going on in 2024?
2024, By Faith Studio is going to be done in the name of Jesus, which is the 1,500 square foot studio that I've been building. That's been 3 years in construction, and that's kind of the big the big thing right there. So I don't know if it's showing backwards to you guys, but that's the
Wow.
So that's going to be a place to compose, a place to create, and a place to host other creators. You know, I'm going to have enough space in there to do a couple, host a couple podcasts, and put probably a high school size orchestra, and be able to record that live with a rhythm section.
You've been working very hard on that for a long time.
Yep, 2+ years, and have very little debt. We're over $40,000, probably over $50,000 now into it, and we're once we finish the HVAC system, then it's all downhill. Then we're
pedal to the metal, man.
And
That's really cool. Are you set up to send us off with a Christmas song or Christmas carol or any kind of performance on your end?
Oh, I am. I am. I'm gonna
so
find
give
a track
give us
right
a little
here.
something, and I'm gonna wrap it up here, man. And I'm going to tell my friends, everybody who has joined us, that I really appreciate you. Thank you to my daughter for joining me, and I'll pull you in from time to time.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, and yeah, we'll keep doing this, man. We'll just hopefully we will grow with it as well. And I hope all of you guys have an amazing Christmas, safe and happy New Year. And Gabe is going to send us off from this part of the broadcast with a little bit of music.
Oh, there you go.
That's right. Very cool. Oh, it's about to get real.
Yeah.
and then beyond that, I'm gonna close it out with 3 songs by Kirsty, who joined us earlier. And hey, I love you guys. You guys are awesome. And Gabe will take it away, man.
They say there's a corner of heaven where a choir of angels sing, and there's no one greater than to praise the Creator. Voices raised for the birth of a king. So the littlest angel practiced hour after hour all alone. Though her voice was sweet, it was timid and weak, till she passed by the foot of the throne. Then wonder of wonders, it happened. With a touch of his hand she was blessed. He could tell from the start that she sang from the heart. He'd put her voice above all the rest. Now the littlest angel sings for a child the sweetest song heaven has heard. And the baby, he smiles while the stars on high sparkle with every word. And we know that miracles happen with the promise a small angel brings, and the world sings along on the wings of her song when the littlest angel sings. And we know that miracles happen with the promise a small angel brings, and the world sings along on the wings of her song when the littlest angel sings. Hallelujah, Hosanna on high, peace on earth on Christmas night, when the littlest angel sings.
Oh, the snow's coming down. There's love and cheer all around. I could decorate the Christmas tree with red and green for you and me. 'Cause this time next year, when I see those twinkling lights on some December night, it'll make me wanna hear those carols in the square, jingle bells and deck the halls. Yeah, we sang 'em all loud and off key. I still see us there. When I see lovers holding hands, making holiday plans, and he's kissing her like you kissed me, I run into an old friend and your name comes up again, only in my dreams, in my dreams. This time next year, like you kissed me. I run into an old friend and your name comes up again, only in my dreams, in my dreams. This time next year I won't think of you at all, but if you wanna call, we could reminisce like we don't care. And this time next year, oh, the snow's coming down. This time next year, love and cheer all around. I won't miss you, baby, this time next year.
It's a modified double wides and call it a dive on wheels. Got Christmas vibe 365 with a throwback Yuletide feel. You got sequins and tourists, locals and yokels, throwing back cold ones to warm up their vocals in a place on the south side of town named after old Saint Nick. There's a tree in the corner. Get on the list of performers. And the bulbs ain't the only thing getting lit. The man in red is listening, better watch your lip. Silver bells are low places. Put in your name, get 5 minute famous. A little bit hokey, a whole lot of smoky. Hanging at the pub doing Santa's karaoke. I've even seen the barkeep dressing up like an elf. You can't beat the people you meet. They're conjured by the jit-top shelf. The deck is decked with decked-down rednecks. DJ's yelling, hey y'all, who's next? Better get ready. Her dolly stopped in last year.
But she don't drink beer.
Christmas tree in the corner. Get on the list of performers. And the bulbs ain't the only thing getting lit. The man in red is listening, better watch your lip. Jolene in pretty paper. Put in your name, get 5 minute famous. A little bit hokey, a whole lot of smoky. Hanging at the pub doing Santa's karaoke. Slide in the booth with old Kris Kringle. Get your picture made, don't take a lot of jingle. There's a tree in the corner. Get on the list of performers. And the bulbs ain't the only thing getting lit. The man in red is listening, better watch your lip. Viva Nash Vegas. Put in your name, get 5 minute famous. A little bit hokey, a whole lot of smoky. Melakaliki Maka to all my homies hanging at the pub doing Santa's